Give me a second, folks. All right. All right, we're out here throwing a Ned rig. All right, if anybody's watching, we're out here throwing a Ned rig. My service is horrible, so deal with me. Anyway, I honestly don't expect to catch much. I was going to do a full-on video out here this morning, but we'll see. The wind is terrible, so right there it's like already crappy. But we figured we'd come down here because wind's getting cold. We figured we'd come down here and try it because why not, right? I could be sitting at home watching Netflix, ain't got no use for that. So we're gonna come out here and we're gonna Ned rig fish instead. Adjust that camera a little more. We're still a little high. That's a little better. All right. Because why not, right? Anyway, we're out here, and what we're throwing is a PB&J Z-Man Ned rig. Well, literally, I got the bag right here. It's a Finesse TRD. And we will see if we can't get something to bite. Like I said, it's mid-February, of course. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. With the conditions, all things lead to the bass should be biting. I mean, we got a front moving in, obviously, look around. But we're just going to throw this Ned rig a little bit, see if we can't get us something to bite. You know, hopefully something will bite. Let me move the camera a little closer. I ain't wearing a mic and the wind's up, so the wind, you know, probably gonna hurt the sound. But I had nothing else going on this morning, so I figured I'd come down here for a few hours. We'd see if maybe couldn't get a bite. Anyway, y'all make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you will. It doesn't cost you nothing, and it helps me out, so. But let me go ahead and we'll throw another cast. I'll show you what we're slinging here. I'm not using the actual Ned rig jig head just because the grass is so bad here. I can't even get a cast off without getting a bunch of grass in it. So what I've actually done, and it works just as well, is I've just rigged it up with a Texas rig. We're just throwing a little 1/16 ounce bullet weight. This is a 3/0, I think it's a Gamakatsu hook. And then this regular little TRD PB&J Z-Man Ned rig. And Z-Man makes pretty good stuff. Just as I said in my last video, don't store them with anything else. And they don't play well with other lures. They want to melt and turn into some weird freaky goo. Into the wind we go. And we're just throwing this on a little loose Hank Parker spinning rod. Whew. Sorry, I know the wind's got to be terrible on the sound, but we're trying it, right? Anyway, we're standing out here on a dock at the rivers, or lake, so as you can see, it is a floating dock, so it'll be all right though. But hopefully, long story short, we'll get something to bite, because I've already got a few bass, not today, but I mean, I have been getting them to hit. And then the lake froze over about 2 weeks ago or so, give or take. And it's kind of put a damper on the biting ever since it's thawed out. I don't think I've actually caught anything, but I've only been down here like once for like an hour prior to today. So. But I figure I got here and fish as much as I can, because I'm switching jobs at work, so I ain't gonna have quite as much free time, you know, so. I'd throw out any little video or whatever I could. There's a snag. I have fished all morning without one snag. You go live and then look what happens. All right. Sucks. Let me run over here, and y'all stick with me. Just let me run over here to the trusty tackle bag, which I left sitting over here on the bank. Be back just a second. That's crazy. I've literally been down here fishing for an hour and a half. Have not got snagged one time till we go live. Now, find us a hook and whatever else we might need. All right, we're going to throw an actual dead hook just because I didn't bring nothing else. Come fishing, you lose baits and what have you. So, lose my gloves for just a second. See, I knew to throw braid on this morning, and I didn't. And then look what happens. First time I snag anything, I break off. As always, you know, I tell you what, threading your line through the eyes of your fishing rod, not that easy when you're in the middle of wind, you know, 20 plus, well actually the gusts are 30 it says, but we got a sustained wind of, I think it was 14 miles an hour. So I figured on a day when the wind's horrible like this, what's the best thing to do? Go fishing. Bet nobody else was thinking that. Wow. Wind is terrible. Got some really nice choppy water. I'm literally having to use my hand to block the wind in order to get the line through the eyes of the fishing rod. There we go. One more eye. There you go. What in the world? Boy, I must have frayed that or something. I believe I did. So I don't know what I snagged on out there, but it frayed my line pretty bad. Loose from there now. That's another thing about using a spinning reel in the wind like this. There we go. Not the best idea. But when it comes to good ideas, I'm not exactly full of them. I mean, it literally makes no sense to be out here in this wind fishing. But hey, why not? Probably gonna go ahead and switch to a green pumpkin Ned rig anyway, because this PB&J just doesn't seem to be getting it done for me this morning. So yeah. I'm just gonna throw this on, throw me a quick Palomar knot on here, because that's, yet again, that's just the knot I like. And hopefully the service isn't sucking too bad down here, because between bad service and the wind being up and me not catching a fish yet, this video is already horrible enough. But I literally have nothing else better to do, and if you're watching, then you probably don't either. So hey, we'll try to entertain one another. Yeah, I'm definitely taking this line off when I'm getting back home, because I'm throwing braid on this little sucker. Because this, I don't know what, this can't be more than a 7-pound line. I mean, it breaks so easily. And it is so thin, it's actually quite hard to see. And I know I'm wearing glasses, but I am nearsighted, not farsighted, so I see just fine up close. All right, finally. All right, there's our Palomar knot. Now we cut off our tag. And we'll throw us on, I'm guessing I'm gonna go ahead and go with that green pumpkin Ned rig. Because they've not bit the PB&J, they've actually not bit the Googan black and gray, which is always my go-to actually with a Ned rig. So if I'm not lost this little sucker nowhere, there's that one. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Came kind of ill prepared, in case you ain't noticed. I bet I threw it my other, because I'm wearing 2 hoodies because I get cold easily. Huh. Well, I totally misplaced that one, so we'll go with this one instead. Alright, well, we're gonna go with the Googan rattling Ned, I guess. And hopefully we don't end up losing it really quickly too, because the simple fact I'm having to throw this actual jig head, so she's gonna be catching grass and stuff really bad. There ain't no doubt about that. All right, so this is what we're going to be throwing right now. And as you can see, this particular Ned rig has caught a lot of fish, so she has seen better days. And since I was, I'm gonna go ahead and throw my gloves back on. All right. If you're watching, you're not a subscriber, hey, do so. Now, we're actually, this is probably a better time frame. I think I actually got here too early this morning because last time I was catching fish down here, it was about 9 o'clock. So, oh wow. That's a good heavy Ned rig head though. Now, if we can just keep it out of the grass long enough to catch something, we'll see what happens. So let me read some comments here. Me too. Zeus the Greek God. Hey, thank you, Zeus the Greek God, for being a subscriber. We appreciate you. And Burgundy News, good luck, bro. Have fun. Hey, if I'm out here fishing, I'm having fun. There ain't no worries about that. So thank y'all for that. I want to learn how to fish. I never did it. It's easy. Ned rig, especially early in the year like this, Ned rig is by far the best bait you can throw. Like I said, this little lake here it's a heavily pressured lake, and if I can come down here and fish on a dock where everybody else fishes, and for the most part catch fish. I mean, I literally caught. I know, like, a little over 3 pounds don't sound big to most people, but in this small lake, 3 pound fish, good sized fish, and I mean, I literally caught one, as you can see the dock right here, probably about 10-12 foot off the bank right there. I caught one about 2 weeks ago. Well, it's a little over 2 weeks before the lake froze. Caught one there about 3 pounds. So, and like I said, for here, a 3 pound bass, good sized fish. Overlook me, allergies are killing me. But hey, yeah, if you're not a subscriber, feel free to do so. Like I said, it doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me out. I can already tell we're pulling through some grass. That's the reason I was actually throwing the bullet weight on the Ned rig instead of the actual Ned rig jig head. It's because you pick up far, far less grass. But these things, if you're somewhere that isn't just completely just covered in grass on the bottom, if you got anywhere sand bottom, mud bottom, even rock bottom, these jig heads are just the greatest thing ever. And I think the brand I'm using is they're Buckeye weedless. The actual hook itself isn't catching none of the weeds. It's the actual head of the jig, the lead weight part. It hangs a lot of grass. But as you can see, I'm pulling through it. It's just every cast I'm going to have to clean the grass off of the jig head. And the way I always fish the Ned rigs here is I cast, I let it set on the bottom, give her about 6 seconds, give it about 6 seconds, give it 3 or 4 good bumps like this, and then I'm gonna reel in my slack, let her set for about 6 seconds, and like I said, rinse, wash, repeat, or rinse and repeat, however you say it. All right, let's see if we picked up a bunch of grass. Yeah, see? It's actually not getting, the hook is completely clear, as you can see. It's just, it gets wrapped around the actual lead. It's not tungsten, it's lead part of the head. So that's the reason you can reel through it, but you're gonna bring it all with you. But these are literally just little Buckeye brands. You can get them at Walmart. I hate giving the big box stores a shout out because they're not gonna sponsor anybody, but still, yeah, that's all it is. And it's got that little twist on, so you can just twist it up and on. It's a green pumpkin color, so I like that they come pre-colored. And I'm sorry for the wind, ain't nothing I can do about it, but I'm sure that it's loud. But we'll try a few more casts. I mean, maybe something will bite. Now right there where I'm fishing, we're probably about 7 foot of water there, and it just goes shallow. It just continues to get more shallow as it goes up to the bank right here. But you got a heck of a drop off over here, and that's what we're doing right now. Is trying to catch them coming. We're pre-spawn. I mean, and all of next month will be pre-spawn as well. But we're just trying to catch them because in the mornings, apparently not at daylight. I believe they're feeding a little bit later. But earlier in the day, they'll come up out of the deep. They'll start feeding, getting ready, putting on weight for the pre-spawn, of course. And we're just trying to catch them while they're in transit back and forth. I mean, literally, that's all we're doing. And occasionally, you're going to drop it in front of one that's pretty good size. You know, it happens. I don't know if I got me a deer or what up in the woods. I keep hearing something walking around. But anyway, we're gonna let her set. It's, you know, with this the weight of this head's pretty heavy, so it's on the bottom really quick. So I'm just gonna give her 3 or 4 good little bumps. Reel down my slack, just in case something was taken. I ain't got to reel up a ton of slack before I set that hook, because you know it's all about setting the hook in bass fishing. But we'll let her set for, you know, 6-7 seconds, however long we want to. Thing about a Ned rig, you can let them set as long as you want. I mean, there ain't no real time frame. It's just I have to have a pattern on everything. It's just how I am. So we'll let her set for 6 or 7 seconds. Just kind of lift it up, give it a few more bumps, reel her down. I've actually caught fish on a Ned rig, casting out and just leaving it set, and be standing there talking for a minute or something, turn around, and whoosh, there you go, you know. So I love a Ned rig. A Ned rig's a great thing to take a kid out fishing with too, because I mean, there's really, you don't have to have any talent. There's no true method to it. It's just literally casting it out there, and especially early in the spring. Go early in the spring. You know, middle of summer, nah, it's a different story with Ned rigs then. You know, they're not my go-to in the middle of summer whatsoever. You know, I prefer running a Texas rig, you know, because this lake here is just so full of grass. I mean, just, there's so much stuff in it. I just prefer throwing a good ribbon tail worm, you know, occasionally a wacky rig, occasionally, but throwing a good ribbon tail worm or something like that with about a, I don't know, 1/8 ounce weight works really good here. The Googan trench hogs, they are an amazing bait. I love those. Long as they got just a little bit of purple in them, fish here love them. I don't know what the deal is. You know, and if, you know, they like a trench hog, I'm sure they'd like a Zoom lizard or whatever. I mean, it's more about color than anything. The only thing I like about the Googan trench hogs is the, instead of having one single tail, it has 2, and it really, you get a lot of movement. A lot of movement. So now we've cast it into about 4 foot of water. We're gonna see what happens there. Sorry, I'm trying to lean over and read, hang on, look at this thing. People's been talking on here and I've not been reading. I'm so sorry. Bro, what the, gamers is very good. Who wants to friend me on Roblox? I'll play. Well, I did with the whatever. Alrighty. All right, we're back at it. Right. And we're literally just got. I'm just got it sitting out here, just letting it sit. But if you're not a subscriber, hey, please feel free to do so. Targeting largemouth and spotted bass. Where are you at? Sorry. I am in South Kentucky. It's a place called McCreary County. I'm sure nobody's ever heard of it, but it's sort of, it's southeast Kentucky. I'm literally about, I can leave here and be in Tennessee in like 10 minutes. I mean, we're about as far south as you can get and still be in Kentucky. So. Yeah, I'd really like to be a little farther south. I honestly would. That way, you know, you got better fishing for longer periods of the year. I mean, the fish up here, you know, there's certain times of the year you can't get them to bite nothing, really. Yeah, from Pike. Hey, another Kentucky fella in the house. Hey. Well, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, how the bass feed in our areas. Yeah, I'd love to be a little farther south where they feed, almost year rounds. I mean, that's why I can go to, down, you can go to Alabama, Georgia, Florida, places like that, and I mean, you can slay big bass. I mean, that's what I'm saying. A 3, 4, or 5 pound fish here is like a big bass. You get a little farther down south in those states, and it ain't nothing to catch a good sized fish. See right there, we've already picked up some more grass. And it won't be on the hook, like I said, it'll be around the jig head. Wish I could shake that off. Hey, I did. There we go. Heck yeah. All right, let's try another one. Like I said, I was going to throw on a green pumpkin Ned rig, but I've seemed to have lost it. And I've got more in the truck. I'm just, call me lazy. Actually, I've got more right here in the bag. But I threw back on this Googan Rattling Ned because it's sort of a minnow color, so I mean it typically works good for me. It's actually kind of my go-to of the Ned rigs. Plus that little rattle in them it don't hurt at all. I actually go on Amazon and buy the little rattles, and I tend to put them in most of my soft plastics. I'll call me a cheater, but I'll throw a rattle in them. It never hurts. I mean, because this Googan Rattling Ned, I mean, there's nothing special about it other than the rattle that's in it. Because, I mean, let's be real, a Ned rig's, essentially half a Senko. Well, not even half a Senko, about 1/3 of a Senko. So, I mean, there ain't a whole lot you can do with them. But like I was saying earlier, I mean, with the weather that's undoubtedly rolling in, I mean, the conditions are right. It's just, if they're going to bite or not. I mean, on paper, I should be wearing it out right now, really. Right there, we've already picked up more grass again, it feels like. Yep, without a doubt. I hate throwing it into the grass, but that's typically where the fish are, Oh yeah, I don't doubt that at all. Yeah, I have no doubts about you catching pike around here. Because that's one thing about our rivers, we got a little bit of everything, and then like, Kentucky. I mean, if there ever was a smallmouth state, I mean, this is it. Um, the rivers around here, I mean, yeah, if you love river fishing, this is a place to be when it comes to. Yes, I mean, there's many, many, many species here. I mean, I'll give it that. And yeah, I've actually known quite a few people catching pike around here, and been seeing uh, been seeing actually quite a few more sturgeon. Actually, have a relative who caught one. I mean, I ain't trying to keep up the time frame. It's been less than a year ago, I'd say. He caught one at river access area here. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's on crap. It's on Natural Arch Road. I think they used to call it Turkey Creek. I mean, I don't know what the actual name of it is, but it's the river, meets up a couple streams there. I mean, it wasn't a huge sturgeon. I mean, it was all like, foot and a half long. But I mean, if you got little ones, then that's a good sign. That means there's a breeding population there. And, sturgeon are just an awesome looking fish. He wasn't targeting sturgeon. I'm not sure what he was fishing for. I assume catfish or striper. I don't know. But yeah, he managed to catch sturgeon. And then if you go up to Lake Cumberland, I mean, they catch a lot of spoonbill up there. Because when I was a kid, there was a place called Dancy's Fish Market. I think that's what it's called. And they specialized in catfish, but they would also get, rather large spoonbill they would catch out of that lake, which, that's Lake Cumberland for you. All right, now I'm actually fishing out probably about 10, 15 foot water. So, oh wow. Okay, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it's until watching him catch up that way, a little bit of everything, I would imagine. I really wanted to bring the boat so bad today, and we would be catching fish for sure in the boat because I could go back to my go-to places in this little lake. And this little lake is called Laurel Creek Reservoir. It used to be a reservoir. They don't actually pull water from it anymore. But yeah, it's a really good lake. But where it's like electric motors only, So I typically use a John boat just so I can get around quicker. But if you've ever used a John boat on a windy day, I mean, forget about it. Pack stream someplace. Wasn't 2 foot wide. Wow, that's crazy to catch a good sized fish like that in such a small area. But I mean, your larger predatorial fish, they'll shoot right up those little creeks and streams like that out of the main river channels or rivers, and that's the reason a lot of if I'm fishing a river, I always try to find a mouth of a creek that connects to the river, because that's where you'll catch most of your larger fish, going up to them streams to feed on the smaller bait fish. Yeah, it's always your go-to. And if you watch any of these, sorry, I'm trying to get the camera sitting there. If you watch any of the, the bass tournaments, the Elite Series and all that, anywhere they're fishing rivers or what have you, they're always going to be looking for nice little creek mouths and stuff coming up in the larger body of water. And that's where you're almost always going to find your predator fish, because they're always going to be up in there looking for them smaller ones. Folks, I have tried, and I'm thinking I don't know if I should have been here yesterday instead of today. That could be a possibility. I fear they'll be feeding like crazy right before this wind set. Or it's obviously going to rain. I mean, if you look around. Yeah, I fear today they'd be burning it up with this front rolling in. Could be wrong. It may be actually shutting the bite down instead of, making it take off, which is what normally happens. I figure I'd get down here just after daylight and be able to burn it up, but it's not really looking like it. I'd settle for, like to get a couple of fish anyway would be nice. First back stream is 18 inches long. And my dad caught the rest of them. We had about 15 that were 12 to 18. Wow, that's really good. Yeah, I'm having such a hard time trying to keep this jig head out from getting so hung up in the grass. It's not really working. But yeah, if you're watching, if you don't mind, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, it doesn't cost you anything. It really helps me out. What's the old saying? I'm a struggling YouTuber. I'm just somebody who likes fishing. I like, if somebody's watching my videos and they like them, I appreciate the thumbs up. It's right there, just gotten some more grass. Yeah, I really, really appreciate it. Just like I said, if you want to subscribe, I really, really appreciate that also. Like I said, free to you and helps me out. There's undoubtedly some bushes or something under the water right there. I mean, I don't know what it is. I keep feeling something as I go over it. And whatever it was, done and stole a Gamakatsu hook and a bullet weight off of me a little while ago. I'm really sorry for the camera work, y'all. I mean, that wind's gotta be terrible. The sound, I mean. Some really shallow water there, which means I know I'm going to be getting into some grass there for sure. left me hanging there, didn't he? I gotta go over here and retrieve mine. I'm gonna try to get this one out. Don't want to lose another one. All right. Well, yeah, the service down here isn't that great. Well, the wind is actually getting worse on me out here. So, like I said, if y'all would like, share, and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. I guess we're going to go ahead and try to end it right there because I've tried everything this morning and they just don't want to cooperate at all. So if y'all would, go to the channel, check us out. Fishing with Sticks. Hopefully I'm the only one there. But anybody that has hung around and watched, I really appreciate y'all. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, y'all get out and go fishing. I mean, it's what it's all about. You're going to catch them some days you're not. So just get out there and try to catch a few. Y'all take it easy.